Good afternoon, ma'am.
I have given a topic as a generative AI. So all of you know what is generative AI, correct? So you have used that generative AI, correct? For the creating the images. You have created your images, different ghibli images. Correct? So that is again a generative AI. You can create the fingerprints by using generative AI. Incomplete fingerprints into the complete. Also you can create a scanner, X-ray, and if it is not able to visible, at that time also you can use the generative AI. Again to create the content you can use that generative AI. These are all applications of generative AI. So we are now covering this topic in today's session. So this is the typical definition of generative AI. It is a part of artificial intelligence that can create a content. Actually, I am used to with my laptop. That's why. Okay. So generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that can create a new content like text, images, music, audio, videos based on the prompts which you are giving. Correct? So you are giving the prompts and based on that your AI will generate what you want. So you are generating the images, you are generating your PPTs by using this generative AI. You are giving your old outdated PPTs and then generative. If you are given the prompt to the generative AI that I wanted this generation of PPTs like that. So it will generate it. So if you are given some diagrams, so it will be make your diagrams attractive as well. And within how many seconds? 5 to 4 seconds. Okay. So already we have discussed about the evolution of AI, evolution of a computer in the first lecture which was taken by the Dr. Rajendra Sona, IIT Bombay. He has asked you the questions regarding, correct? So in 1960, basic chatbot was created. So first attempt of this is what the machine which first attempt to produce a text. So that time they have prepared a machine which produces a text. That is a chatbot. If you are asking a question to that chatbot gives you answers accordingly based on your questions. But it is limited. So now whatever question you are asking to the AI ChatGPT, it will give you the answer. As per their knowledge, they are giving you the answers and it is almost 80% or 85% is correct. Not we cannot majorly depend on it. We need to select it. Okay? So today Try is a leader in AI, generally high quality text images and more. So generative AI is a leader of AI, I can say. So next is the artificial intelligence, heart of that AI, generative AI, correct? So it is what is AI? So it is about making the machines, computers capable of performing the tasks which typically require human intelligence, like learning, understanding language, and making the decisions. What we require? We require an AI to understand. We require AI to understand what the machine want to say. Okay. So just a minute. So AI is to create a system that can think, learn, and act like a human. So every time we are saying that AI is what? It is a which can act like a human. So why like word is used? Because we are human and we can generate new things that generative AI cannot. Correct? We have our intelligence, but that machine is having a limited intelligence, which we have fit in it. Okay. Next, these are the examples of AI. Understanding and responding the language. Again, recognizing the patterns and making a prediction. Solving complex problems, making decisions, learning from the experience. So as we have used, what we are using and what child is using, a small child, what he does, he learns from the experiences, correct? So how he walk, how he talk. So based on the experiences, observations and all, he can give you the, he can prepare his database and he can work accordingly. Okay. So how AI works? So this is a diagram which represents that how AI work. So the human brain is given as an input. So input, then it will learn the patterns like a human, then make the predictions based on that available data set. So if I want to predict that the person's weight or height, or whether that person is having a blood pressure or that person is having a diabetes. So based on the information I can predict it. So what is prediction? What is prediction? So you are identifying something, some solution based on that, means you are guessing something. So that is what your prediction. So how you are guessing? If you don't know anything, can you able to guess it? No. So you require the information. Based on that you can guess. Okay. Then make the predictions. So based on the data we can do the predictions. So if we don't have a data, we are not able to make the predictions. If I want to predict a student who will get the highest mark in a class, can you able to predict it? Whether we are giving a term work and internal marks, then also we are not able to predict it, but we are guessing it. So that is what we are using in the machine learning. Then perform a task. So if you perform a task based on the information. So what information we have? We have a student database, we have a student marks, information of the students, this year information, last year information. Accordingly, based on that we can give the perform the task. Perform a task means what? Can I identify the student? Yes. There is a probability that the student will get and this student will get a highest mark as compared to others. That we can predict. So for that purpose, what AI does? It uses the algorithms. Okay. So what are the algorithms in AI? All of you know, because we people are teaching that artificial intelligence and data science. So in that, mostly we are using the data structure algorithms, that is the shortest path and all, A-star algorithm, decision tree. Okay. So these are all we are using here. Again, we are using the neural network algorithms, machine learning algorithms in that. Okay. So AI works by using algorithms to analyze data, identify patterns, and make the predictions. That is what the work of AI to do the prediction. So as we are telling that machine learning is also there, which help us to do the prediction. Right? So machine learning, it will predict, and artificial intelligence, it will give you the intelligent decision based on that. So for example, if a person wants to buy something from the shop, so shopkeeper will identify that the person will buy what? If he buy milk, then he will buy bread. If he will buy bread, then he will buy a sugar or tea or coffee, like that. So this is what the prediction, based on what? Based on the experiences that person has got. Okay. Next. So these are all application of AI. All of you know, all of us know, correct? Healthcare and finance. In healthcare, how we can use AI? Again for predictions. Which medicine should I take? You are asking a question that I am having this problems. What is going on in my body? I don't know. So what you are telling? What ChatGPT will tell you? Yes, this will be happen. So you take this as a precaution, and then you can go to the directly doctor. But not it will not suggest you to take a medicine immediately. First of all, you have to consult with the doctor. So that is what the prototype you have to follow. The next is in finance we can use AI. So if I want to invest money in share market, so which share should I brought? So your ChatGPT will give you the answer, correct? But then also he telling you that it is up to you. These are all options. All are good, but out of that, this is what people are. Most of the people buying this product, correct? So you can invest your money here also. So if I want to invest, I want to reduce my tax and all. So for tax purpose also, it will give me the suggestion that you can use SIP and all. So this is what related to the application of AI in finance. Okay? But in healthcare and finance, AI will not give directly the solution to you. Why? Because you have to take a decision here. So here we require a human. Okay? So here we are telling that AI is replacing the humans, but human intelligence no one can replace. Then transportation. So already the best example of that is what? Self-driving. And another one, Ola, Uber. All are the applications which are used for the. So here IoT integrated Ola, Uber are there, and you can use that. You can book this Ola, Uber, and on time it will be reached to you. And then based on that is what the problem people have to identify and they have to work on it. So that is the best example for transportation we can use. Next is the customer service. So do you know Big Bazaar is having a sale. So they are giving one product with another product. Yeah? So why they are giving? Is it expiry date khatam ho gayi hai or like that? That will be happen. Then how they identify that the person will buy this, and then इसके साथ ये try किया, that person have tried this, then next time he will buy this product also. This is what the one type of advertisement. But why they are identifying that? Based on the human emotions, psychological problems, psychological identification. Also, they are observing the cameras. People are standing over there and checking this. Yes, this dress is very beautiful, but the person is checking the rate of that price of that dress. So what happened? Price of that shirt or dress, so not able to buy. So he'll then again that software or that your camera will identify that the person, same person, not 2 to 3 persons are there. They are continuously watching that, but the price is more. So what happened? At that time, if there is an offer, they can buy it. So based on that, they have prepared their model. Similarly, like our Amazon. So if I want to buy a dress, I can click on that Amazon and I will give the order. But if it is not in my budget, what I have to do? I'll add it into my cart. What happens? After that, I'll get a notification when Amazon sale will be there. Correct? Amazon or Flipkart or. So for entertainment purposes, we can use AI. Ask anything to AI, AI will give you an answer. Entertainment, what type of entertainment it is having? Netflix, Prime, videos. Yes, it will identify the human behavior, and based on that, it will suggest you the movies. Correct? So what do you think that? Yes, इसको कैसे पता चला, है ना? How we identify that? Based on your expenses you are liking and scrolling, what you are scrolling, based on that. So similarly, Insta is also giving you the videos. आपने अगर motivational देखना चालू कर दिया, एक दो like कर दिए, what happen? You will get that continuously. Correct? Then next is the robotic. So in the robotics, best example of that is Sophia. Yes, this is the best example. She has given a good interview, like a human. Next, social media, space exploration, gaming, agriculture, e-commerce, and education. Also, we can use this here. So social media, all of you know social media, LinkedIn. What a LinkedIn does? It will send you the, if you apply for the job or anything, so it will give you the recommendation on it. Correct? So this is the best platform that sir also said that. Yes, I think all of us are on LinkedIn. Yes, we are getting the notifications. If we have shared some information related to the conferences, so we are getting such a type of messages continuously. Even we are not connected with that person, then also we are getting such a type of messages. Okay. Then space exploration, we can use this generative AI. Social media, agriculture. What is the example of agriculture? Yes, IoT best. Best example student have done. I am sitting here and I want to check whether the water is there or not in my farm. So what I have to do? So this is what IoT integrated. Then IoT integrated machine. But if it is artificial intelligence, then what happens? It will automatically check it and then it will do it. We don't have to do anything. Only we have to give we have to guide that system and we have to give the command accordingly. No? So for education also we are using this AI. How? We are all that type of people educated. Yeah? Means we are teaching the students. So how we are using AI? Every time you are using AI. Any question you are having, you are asking the question answer to the AI. है ना? ChatGPT is you are using. Most of the people are using Canva for drawing the napkin AI is there, which will help you to the for drawing the attractive diagrams. Now what happens? If you are giving a PPT directly to the ChatGPT, it will give you everything. Correct? So that is the example of this artificial intelligence AI. Next. Then next is the machine learning. What is machine learning? Machine can learn. Na? How the child can learn. That is the best example. When you are using if you want to train a child or you are teaching the students. So based on that, how you are teaching, based on your teachers, students will be prepared. Correct? So if you are giving a good input to the student, then that definitely they will get a good they will give you the good output based on it. So machine learning, it is again a predictive based. Okay. So most of the medical systems they are using machine learning, they are not using that deep learning and all. Okay. Because machine learning is having a limited data set, and based on that it will give you the information output. Okay. Next. So how machine learning works? First you have to give the input to the data, then data preparation. What is data preparation? What is data preparation? If I have got the data of a person from the food shop, okay, food shop or something, from there what information I get? What information I get? Name of that person, height, I can identify height will get, then food size will be, I get that food size. So whether that person will check the weight of that person, age, we can identify the age also. So based on that, can I predict some health related information about that person? Whether I require food size at that time? No. Based on food size, you can identify what the person's height. Yes. So if you identify the person's height, based on that you can identify the food size height you have, and age is there, so you can identify that the person's weight maybe this is the range, based on that you can identify. Okay. So data analysis is there. What is data? Information. So we are getting a lot of information continuously in a daily. How many messages you are sending on WhatsApp? So many messages. So how much data you are having? In a one group, for example, our AIDS group is there. So how many messages are there? If you don't see the message in one day, what happens? How many messages are there? 50 to 60 messages are there. So how much information we have? So much. Correct? So that is what the data, and we require people to handle such level of data. So data analysts are required. Data analysts, what they does? So they can analyze the data, and based on that, so that's why that data is having a columns. And that column, on that column people are working. Those who are doing the research, they are working on that. They are identifying the information, and based on that information they will get an output. So for that purpose they have to think on it. So that's why we require the data analysis. Okay. So if I want to find out the person is talking sarcastically or not, so for that purpose I will take the data of news data headlines. So in news headlines, so we are not able to identify that the headline is positive or negative. Sarcastic means what? Is it IRP or not? Okay, so that if you want to find out that, so what you will do? You will find out that you will take the data set. So there is a data set available, that is news headline data set. So in that 4 to 5 columns are there. Labels are given, that is 0 and 1. 0 and 1 means what? Is it positive or is it negative? Okay, and the link is given. Link is given and the text is given. So what we require? We require that text and the number, that is label. What is that label? It represents that whether the headline is positive, it represents positive or negative. So that 2 columns we require. What about link? If that link shows that data is taken from that link. Okay. So whether that if I want to identify the person is talking sarcastically or not, whether I require that link? No, I require only the that text column, and I require another column that is represent 0 and 1 is what? Is it positive? This line is positive, the another one is negative. If a person is talking about it, so you can identify, and based on that it will be predict that the person is talking sarcastic. So in sarcastic also there are two types of statement, positive and negative. Sarcastic, yes or no. If it is yes, then is it positive or is it negative? If it is not sarcastic, means not come under this positive and negative, it will be negative. Okay. So this is the model training then. So we have to train a model based on it. So if you want to identify, predict the person is talking sarcastically, I know how much intelligent you are. So that is what if I am talking in, I require a previous discussion of that person, correct? If I am writing a message on that message, if I have written, I know how much intelligent you are. पता है मुझे तुझे कैसे marks मिले हैं, है ना? So that is what one type of a sarcasm is, है ना? So based on that you can train the model and predict the prediction and take the decision. Okay? And what decision you are taking, sarcastic or not? And based on that you have to apply this application, misuse this decision, apply the application on that decision and predict output. So that is your own work. Yes, next. So this is the basic workflow of machine learning. Collect the data. Data collection is a very difficult task or not? Most of the people are working on a real-time data set. Correct? So whether real-time data set is easy to take? Correct? No. No one is taking the data. If I have given a form to the people, the application is there in which I need to check the person's mental health. One time I have entered everything casually. After that I have to think on it, and after that I have entered that the output will be different both the times. So whether should I predict on, should I depend on this machine? So if you want to depend on it, you have to predict the correct output. So you have to find out the first what are the problems in the existing system, and then you have to predict your own system. So you require to collect the data. Data collection is a very difficult task. Collect the data first. Data collector you have to give the labeling to the data. Then choose the model algorithm. Prepare the data, that is pre-processing. So there are in NLP, students are learning that there are so many, how many stages are there? Text processing are there. That is tokenization, stemming, lemmatization. Correct? So n-gram technique is there. Then ambiguity, you can identify the ambiguity and all. These are all the processes. We have to follow that. That is pre-processing on the text. So you will get the pre-processed data, and based on that you can identify. So if you remove the tokenization, this one will separate the text, and then remove the stopword. This word stopword removal is the method which remove the words which require to complete the sentences. Okay, and then it will remove that, you will get the original words. So that words will help you to identify, or to, these are all called as keywords. So based on that you will get a meaning of, you will identify the meaning of that sentence. So we require a pre-processing. In NLP, pre-processing is different. If you are using the numbers data, you have to do the prediction. Again, numbers data is what if I have to predict the whether my bike, I want to do the servicing for my bike. So I require a data of that. If it is smoothly working and all. So whether I require to do the servicing? No. So when I have to do the servicing, it gives me a experience, na? Good experience and bad experience. If I am getting a bad experience, that means not as that much bad, but it will be creating some noise or starting problems are there. Such a type of problems you are facing. So at that time, what do you think that I have to do servicing to my bike? Correct. Similarly, for the data processing, when you are using the numbers data, so at that time also it will work on the machines. So machine, they are having the sensors, so it will collect the data, your numbers, information about the machine by using the sensor, and then it will be implemented. Okay, so for numbers also we are using this pre-processing methods. Those who are teaching machine learning, they know very well.